And for me, I've said that I love that we are in a space right now with our economy, with really the job market where a person can kind of work for themselves. If let's just say, for example, for whatever reason, you just either can't work with others, or you can't hold down a job, or what I'm saying, financially you wasn't able to go to some prep school or some college or whatever. You basically have to be a self-made person. You got to start from scratch. You got to build something up, or you just want extra money on the side. You can do that, by having a car and being willing to pick up some boxes for Amazon and drop it off to people. You know, picking people up, dropping them off at the airport or to bars or whatever they want to go. Using Uber or Lyft. You can now use Uber Eats or DoorDash to pick up food and deliver to customers. And the thing we're going to talk about is DoorDash and companies like that. So the reason why I'm bringing this up because, well, DoorDash is in the news for two reasons. One, let's start with the simple fact that, you know, over 25%, or about 25%, have admitted to stealing food. Or, as I would say, skimming off the top of your fries or picking toppings off your pizza or whatever and just eating it. And, me personally, I would have a problem with that for the simple fact, one, you stealing from the customer, and two, the sanitation, you're putting your hand in someone else's food. So, and if 25% of people admitted to it, you have to wonder how large is that number actually? Because these are the people that came out. This is not the people who may not say anything about it at all. And we've seen videos of people putting it on YouTube or social media saying what they've done to other people's food. And this actually causes concern from people because, again, sanitation is the big concern. Is like, all right, so I trusted you to pick this food up, and now I don't know if the food I'm getting from the place I bought it from is really going to be safe for me to eat because, you may have put your hands in it. So this is a problem in that aspect. Now, the other aspect we got to talk about is on the DoorDash end. Now, let's just say you actually have someone who are honest. They're not doing it. They're not putting their hands in your food. They do their best to actually get your food to you hot. And, you say, all right, man, you did a good job. I appreciate what you did. I know your standard tip on the app is like, what, uh, $5 or $10, whatever. I'm going to throw a little extra in there, man. I appreciate what you did. Well, this is where DoorDash is now having to deal with a class action lawsuit because, yeah, been skimming off the top of those tips. So in that example, and I got this from where I was reading on, I believe it was Engadget when they were talking about it. Let's say, for example, you only tip $1. Well, DoorDash try to make it up to their workers by throwing the extra $7 in there to make sure, at minimum, they always get $8 worth of tips. But let's just say, again, in that scenario, you decide to give them 20, $30. Especially if you have like a big group delivery, you deliver to your job and for like a pizza party or something like that. And you're like, all right, look, man, this guy just delivered like 20 pieces, man. Let's go ahead and throw him 40 or $50 for it, and hook him up. Well, in that scenario, after the $7, what DoorDash would do would take every other bit of money you have left and treat it like, well, I'm gonna add it to their income. And what I mean by that, well, so let's just say they make $20 an hour. Well, let's say $20 an hour. All right, so where they would normally make their regular $20 an hour plus their tips. $20 from DoorDash and whatever $8 or $10 tip that you give them. Well, it's $7 from this scenario, $8 tip from them. They'll pretty much get $28 an hour. Well, if you decide to bump that tip up to $20, you would think, okay, for that particular hour, you would have made $48 for the hour, but that's not the case. So for every extra that you put in there, all DoorDash is doing is treating it like, well, instead of it coming out of our pocket to give them $28 an hour, we're gonna take the extra money from you and just, basically take some of that extra money that we would have paid them and keep it in our pocket. So it stays at $28 an hour. Basically, they're stealing tips from the people out there delivering. And I could see where, people out there working hard and trying to go above and beyond would have a problem with that, and rightfully so. If you're doing the extra, you're going out there, you're buying the bags to keep the food hot, and to keep the drinks cold. Because I've seen on YouTube where people put that out there and saying, look, if you really want to make an impression, if you really want to stand apart, this is the things you need to do to really win customers over to get more tips. And if people go out there, they do that. They spend their hard-earned money. They doing everything they can to get the food to them hot on time or earlier than projected. I feel like you're not getting, you're punishing them. You're not allowing them to earn those extra tips. You're taking it from them. So you're pretty much keeping them on the same level as the guy that decides to show up late and, the bag is pretty much, crumpled up and the food is cold, the drink is hot, everything's melted. You're pretty much keeping them on the same level. And yeah, you, for one, hurt your own product because you're watering it down. You're not allowing the people that are excelling to continue to excel and continue to earn more customers while, those that suck at it, are continue to get bad ratings and, plummet down. You really are discouraging people from being able to do more with, going above and beyond. And yeah, this, proves a problem because if the workers or those that's doing that feel like, man, look, I'm getting cheated, and they feel like they need to, vent or, show their frustrations, well, the people that's going to suffer from that are the customers who actually buying the food. And this is where we at with this whole, skimming off the top from them and them obviously putting their food in or their hands in your food. And we really need a solution to this. And here are some of the solutions I have. So on the store end, where you buy, which the problem with this, I feel like, is when you do introduce this, I feel like the store is going to pass those costs on to us. But I guess we have no choice. But wherever you buy your food, they need to put in some type of seal bag, where it's, sealed to a way where the only way you can open it is like with a razor or something. And the reason why, because, that way when you get it or when you get it, if you see the bag, there's no holes, there's no puncture, it's sealed, the way you got it came from the store. That means if something happened to that food, you're not blaming the person from DoorDash. You literally blaming the store from that. So yeah, make sure it's sealed up and going out that way, which I'm starting to see now. More and more stores are doing that now. They're starting to put them in closed bags and sealing it up to make sure that the person they get that food is getting it the way it's supposed to be. So that's the first thing. As far as you as a customer dealing with the person that's delivering food, since you can't trust something like a DoorDash right now until this get resolved, one way that you can kind of fix it is this. Instead of paying extra through the DoorDash app, if you have a relationship with the person delivering the food, especially if you choose the same person, if you can, who's like, man, look, this is the guy I want. This is the guy who goes above and beyond. He's going out there to make sure I get my food hot, my drinks cold. He's doing what he need to do. But that person say, okay, look, what's your Cash App information? If it's allowed, I wouldn't believe it shouldn't be. But instead of me giving you extra tip through DoorDash and have it, stolen by your company, I'd rather just give it to you straight through Cash App. That way, we make sure you getting the money. And that way, the person actually feel like he's appreciated or she appreciated, and they want to continue on doing what they're doing. Because, I feel like, again, the potential with Uber Eats and DoorDash, what it's doing to open up the landscape in general to, like I said, more and more people who may want to do something beyond just a 9-to-5 job, who want to, have their own business or want to work for themselves, who want to get by on, the harder I work, the better I perform, the more I have, or more potential I have to earn. And yes, I like that. And plus, it opens the door up for everyone in general. We don't have to rely on the same stores for food, especially if you having to go out to eat. You may have one of those days you forgot your lunch or something happened. And, you're like, look, I'm not trying to eat pizza again. I'm kind of sick of the same fast food joints. I like to be able to expand my horizon. What else do I have to choose from? And these places like Uber Eats and DoorDash open that up. And that's why, for me, I hope that we can get this fixed and can keep this going.